It's time for Bull Sessions, brought to you by Willcross Seed, your weekly hour-long excursion into all things agricultural, from farming to livestock, soil to seed, equipment to rural life. Now here's your hosts, Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
How you doing, Brad?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
It's another edition of Bull Sessions. We're loving every minute of this show. We thank Miles, we thank Gary, we thank Libby, we thank everybody. We thank KFEQ for giving us this opportunity to hopefully share what we've learned with our listeners. I know we're in the thick of harvest right now. I know there's combine radios on and tractor radios and truck radios, and hopefully I've been waiting to get something back on the email of what they're doing in the grain line, because we talked about that. And we got things to talk about this week.
Well, Randy, you've got a nice tractor out at your house, don't you?
A 1960 D17.
D17.
It's a nice one.
Okay, does that tractor have a radio on it?
No, it doesn't.
Well, Randy, how can you listen to the KFEQ if you don't have a radio?
I'm working on that. I'm going to get a radio on it.
Okay, well,
I am.
That kind of leads us into our topic. I don't have a list for us this week, but I'm going to start us off with a story.
Okay.
We're going to go, this is a story that was handed down to me that happened before my time.
We like stories.
Okay. Well,
clean stories.
These are clean.
Okay.
Okay. My grandfather had a D17.
Really?
Yes. And he had a 170. Mm-hmm. Okay. Both Alschaumers there.
Good tractors.
And they were plowing.
Moldboard plowing.
Two tractors in the field plowing. Yeah. And Dad had his 4020 and a Kiwanis disc.
Yeah.
I tried to spell Kiwanis, and I couldn't quite get that right on my notes. But
you know my thoughts on those, but go ahead.
Okay. So Dad saw that they were plowing, and he thought, well, he'll just take the disc over there and help him. Well,
the Kiwanis disc.
The Kiwanis.
Kiwanis. Okay.
I don't even think they're in business anymore. But he pulled in there and had the wings folded up, and he started disking. Mm-hmm. Well, Grandpa stopped plowing, got out, looked, kicked the dirt, walked back over to my uncle and told him take the 17 home.
Take the 17 home.
Take the 17 home.
What happened?
Well, Dad was disking deeper than they were plowing and making getting over more acres, and was being more effective, And after that, Grandpa always wanted to use that 4020 to do tillage, and it's not really fair comparing a D17 to a 4020, that's
right.
But that's what Grandpa had versus what Dad had, and he liked that. So that kind of leads us into tillage, and like this year, I had some fields that were no-till. Mm-hmm. I had some that were no-tilled into a cover, and I had some that were full-blown tillage where we chiseled the ground last fall, and we worked it in the spring, and just to compare and kind of my notes from, going over it with the combine and what I saw and what I liked and what I don't like about each one of them.
You've got about every combination out there, don't you?
Well, I'm just creatively confused.
That's good. But, if you weren't doing that, we wouldn't be learning from it.
Well, and that's the thing. We have to openly look at different practices. Mm-hmm. When we say, well, by golly, Grandpa did it this way, and this is how we're going to do it.
I hear it every day.
Well, we want to openly look at each of these because every practice has its pros and cons.
It does.
So well, let's look at those and say, okay, well, I liked how easy it was to go out there and just drill into that no-till. Mm-hmm. That was easy. Did I like the time I spent in the tillage tractor during planting season when I could have been planting?
Well, you had a radio, right?
Right, I had a radio.
Okay, good. You was listening to 680 KFEQ.
Yeah, I was listening to Miles play an artist I didn't like. But we went through and, looking at those in the combine and looking at different practices and looking at, sitting in the combine, looking at different places in that field and why is that spot so good? Why is that spot not so good? You know, we can look at, you know, we think about now we're filling trucks. Well, if we park the trucks in one spot, well, what can we do where we park that and just pack that area down where those trucks run?
Right.
You know, do we have a path where that field was a long field and we had to bring stuff out? What can we do so those spots are productive? You know, if we don't have time to work a whole field, how could we make those spots in the field better? You know,
They're packed.
They're packed.
For sure.
Know? So after harvest, can we take a chisel, plow down there? Can we take a ripper down there maybe? You know, what does everybody have? We don't need to go out and buy something high dollar, but what could we do to make those spots better? And kind of what, you know, with all the different tillage and no-till and covers, what's the benefit of each one?
I know. I'm still searching.
Well, this year, I will say that the tillage ground has won out on my farm.
I agree.
On
many other farms.
The tillage ground was better this year. And, you know, where we worked it and opened it up, maybe we helped some internal drainage. You know, we talk about, like on corn, we look and ask the question when we're trying to work with a customer about what corn to place on what fields. We ask him how the drainage is because some corn don't like wet feet. Other corns do well in wet feet, and we try to place the right hybrid on the right acres. And some varieties of corn are, you know, they're flexible and they can handle a wider range of conditions.
So important. That's the world we live in now with hybrid selection.
So, you know, even if you can't tile tile farm, you know, pattern tile some ground, even like deep ripping will help with the internal drainage. You know, and several people like to plant earlier every year.
Now, when you say deep ripping, how deep you going?
Oh, how deep can we pull it? You know, or
9 inches?
Well,
8?
If we can get, if we can take a penetrometer.
With my D17.
Well,
never mind. Go ahead.
You may need to get a different. May need to get a different tractor for that.
I have a brush cutter. Okay, that's a no-till apparatus there.
Okay. So. Well, we're looking at a penetrometer. A penetrometer you can push in the ground, and it's got a gauge on the top of it. And as we're pushing that in, it will register how much pressure it's taking to push that in. Much like you think of a plant growing, it's pushing roots through the soil. Well, if those roots hit 300 psi, they stop or they have to turn. Well, we want our roots, when we plant that seed, to take off. We want it to just explode and take off.
Yeah, and go down.
And go down, go out. You know, we want that soil full of roots because we want it to bring in the water. We want it to bring in the nutrients that's in that whole soil profile so we can get the most bushels that we can. Okay, so you can take that penetrometer and you can look for a hard pan.
Yep.
And when you reach that and then the needle on it bumps and then goes down, that's the hard pan. That's what we want to bust up, you know, or an old plow pan. We want to get through that and break that up. So
there's not any plowing to speak of goes on anymore, but yet with tillage, there still is that pan.
Well, and even if you go, but there is plowing. If you go up north into like the Dakotas or Minnesota.
I hear Wisconsin still, Mobile plows a lot of
still, and I've even seen some in northern Iowa.
Really?
Corn on corn, and they plow it.
Are you suggesting we go dig those plows back out of the ditch?
Well, I think most of them got hauled off to for scrap. But
they did.
No, there's effective tillage, you know, and that's one thing that when there's a such thing as recreational tillage, Randy.
I know. I've seen many people do that.
You know,
I've seen you do that.
Well, when we need something to do, so we go out and we turn dirt for recreational tillage. But
then beat me down on the price of your seed.
So we can pay for the diesel fuel
so you pay for your recreational diesel fuel. Hold on. We gotta sneak off here for just a little bit. Well, as soon as we come back to Bull Sessions, we're going to talk more about tillage on 680 KFEQ.